Hello, everybody. Kirakage here with PowerWash Simulator, a trophy hunter's journey. As always, just gonna set up everything I need to set up on thumbnails and shiz over on YouTube. No, I haven't an idea for like something, but I don't know how well it's gonna go. So I'm gonna go ahead and attempt it. It's basically something to keep me chatting, like through the stream. So, there's no dead silence, but I don't know how well this is gonna go. Oh, what the hell did I just do to... Whoa, what the hell? Okay, so click that, and then I'll load you. But definitely push the wrong button there somehow. Alright. Okay. Right, I was cleaning this area, wasn't I? Okay. That's what it's doing. Okay. The day began when polite refrigerator knocked my apartment door and asked if I had a moment to talk about proper letter storage. I said sure, because I'm not the kind of person who tells a major appliance to buzz off. Wow. Okay, no. That is not as easy to do as I thought it would be. It's... and the only reason I what you want to say was because I'd read it a bit beforehand. Damn, okay, so that's not going to work. And I don't think I can, like, have it up and read it while paying attention to the game at the same time. Let's see if I can. It's just, I, like, got ChatGPT, right, to write this super fucking random story. And I figured to fill up silence and chat, like, on streaming, so I'm always talking. Oh, I could, like, have it on stream. Oh, wow, okay. I have, like, this little wee tripod thingy. Okay. Oh, no, because it... Okay. The day began when polite refrigerator knocked. Oh, no, because this is taking me away from the game. Nah, that doesn't work. I do like it, though, but it's too... I don't know. Off. Unless I just come up with, like, saying random shiz. But, nah. Nah. I don't know. That was an idea, and I like the idea, but I don't think it's going to work as well as I was hoping it would. So, oh well. I guess I'll just randomly talk about stuff as I do other things. I totally didn't make any sense there. Anyway, so what I'm thinking here at the moment is get rid of the green stuff on this area and work my way down. And then I need to move over onto the rust because it's rusty on this part. So switch over to you. This seems to be like the best for taking care of rust. Okay. And slowly make my way back. And go along here. Alrighty then. Okay. This seems to be going pretty well. Oh. Alright, so getting this little wee, I don't know, little wee disky thing underneath the big bally thing. And getting this area. Then going along here. And then there's a garden gnome. Just randomly noticed that, just hanging out on... That's called a thingy that I forgot the name of. I know what that is. It's a sail. I don't know why it's called a sail, but I'm pretty sure that's called a sail. It's actually something that you can put in your backyard to protect you from the sun. I know that because Family had one in their backyard. But they don't do great in wind, especially strong winds, and they kind of come apart at the metal like attachments after a while. So, but they're pretty good, but require a bit more, I don't know, maintenance than you expect. Okay, take care of this. Okay, it looks like I haven't got all the non-rusted bits like I thought I may have had. Bottom. Okay. So that should be fine. Take care of this. Take care of that. Switch over to this. Go back to here. Right. Check out, see what's missing with the greeny green. Not the green, the pinky pink. This pie. Yeah. And then this pie. Yeah. I don't know if this is separate from the other stuff that I have to take care of. But I'll take care of this. Taking slightly longer than I figured it would. I thought it would be a bit more instant than this, but whatever. Okay, so that's, nope, there it is. Get this as well. Relatively got most of it. Then we go along through this by here. All right. Then the rest of the, I don't know, it's just like called a roof or something. Okay. And that right there. Wait, roof cap claimed. Okay, took care of it. And then I'm stuck. There we go. Nope, I'm still stuck. Why can't I go forward at that point? That's just annoying. Okay. Alright, take care of the roof. That's a wee itchy bit. I don't even know if there's anything in there. Yeah, there is. Okay. Right. Go across, do that. Come up with words to say, things to think of. I don't know. Yeah, thinking of stuff to say doesn't seem to be my strong suit. Unless it's like in context with people, I guess. I don't know. Damn it. Even then, I don't know. Okay. Take care of this. Right, continue getting the... Would this be brick or tile? This be... No, it couldn't be bricks. Bricks are like red, but tiles like not brick looking. That was a sentence that made probably no sense. Okay. Am I getting stuck as I like try and get past the roof? It's kind of annoying. Right, actually I can do this. Go free mode. that's not really my focus over there, but sure. Focus is the roof at the moment. Okay. Alright, roof cleaned. Well, part of a roof is cleaned, so progress has been made. Okay. And then yeah, unintentional, but sure, I might as well grab this if I get an opportunity to get it. But that's not really my focus. So I'll ignore it. It's not my focus, I shouldn't focus on it. Proof is my focus, which is what I should focus on. Okay. Then this here. And then a little bit grab you, go here, go there. Alright. Wait, I think I have an idea for the story idea. Let me try something with it. Is I don't want to explore it a little more. Alright. Okay. Hi, ChatGPT. So the story idea, I'm not really able to keep up with saying the story at the same time as like the voice, the way that I was doing it with the text to speech. Oh, I was kind of wondering. So the main reason I couldn't really focus on it was because there was too much to remember at the same time, and as I was talking, I was trying to pay attention to what's being said, and I just felt like I was really rushed with trying to go through the story. So what I was thinking instead was you feed me a word, I say that word, and then you follow it immediately by the next word after I say the word in the story. All right, go. Once. Upon. Okay, ChatGPT. There's a little bit of a huge delay when I say the word in preparation of you saying the next one, and then you make comments in between about how it was awesome that I did a word. So it doesn't really seem to be as seamless as I was hoping it would be there. Okay, so it was once upon. Ah, Okay, so you keep feeding commentary after you say that you won't do commentary. I don't know if that's a that's a you thing because you have to do commentary, but it's not exactly working out the way that we were hoping now, was it? Okay. Once upon time, time. Ah, okay, yeah, no, that that did not work because you kept adding in commentary, and for some reason you keep restarting where I was at because we were at a certain point, and then you said let's start from the beginning again somehow. So maybe that's not quite the way to go about this. No, there's no need for that, considering that the whole point of this whole thing was to do that, and you have not succeeded in that at all. And even without that, there is a bit of a delay, regardless of the extra commentary. There is a delay regardless after I say the word, which I just think is a processing thing on your side. I do feel like if I was able to include your voice in stream, you were able to tell the story, it wouldn't be so bad, but at the same time, that wouldn't be my own voice now, would it? Although having you there, like responding when I'm actually talking, and so it doesn't look like I'm like talking to nothing, or just so people who are watching don't just get the one side of the conversation, would be nice, if nothing else. It absolutely would be. However, I'm not able to do that at the moment because the way that my stream is set up, I don't have anything that I need to be able to include your voice inside of the stream. So I guess we'll have to go with with what we were doing earlier with just random questions, philosophy stuff, freaking not conundrums, the paradoxes, just stuff like that, I guess. Yeah, toss a random question my way. How's that a philosophical question? No, want to try and focus on, I don't know, something uh more, trying to think of the word. Because I'm playing a game called PowerWash Simulator, right? So kids could come along and watch the stream. I want something that basically everyone could understand, but at the same time not so basic that, adults would lose interest in whatever the subject is about. At the same time, not directly children, but, I don't want like something that someone can stumble across where they'd just be like, what the fuck are they on about? Yeah, exactly. Hmm. Okay. Not quite that subject because I don't quite find interest in that myself. However, that type of idea, yes, I like it. So go with that, but with something more, how about we say game focused? Okay, that's a good one. All right. So basically, a little we like thought experiment is right. Every single video game I played is kind of LOP, so it's populated for a city. But basically, every single video game you've played, right? So everyone watching, this includes you. So think about this. Every single video game you played and every single main character lives in that city. What character do you think would be like the mayor of the city? Like I'm trying to think of the games that I play. And well, one who would actually be interested in being like the mayor. And I don't know who, like, what would happen? Like, every single video game, oh man, that is too many to think of though. I've played like a hell of a lot of video games. Oh, there's so many people to think of. Hmm. Hmm. Nah, that's too difficult to try and figure out and pin down. I do like that one. All right, actually. Okay, I do quite like that one. However, I have played way too many video games to actually think of a legitimate answer. Part of it's also when I'm like on the spot like that, needing to think of different characters. I can't think of as many as I'd like to either. I was just more thinking we should probably go with a different quirky what if. Maybe not necessarily gaming related, but like just quirky what ifs. I want to see where this sort of takes my mind for ideas. Okay, so what if every time you sneezed, you'd swap places with someone? No, not swap places. You'd wait. What do you do when you sneeze? Do you swap places or do you take over their body? And do they take over your body? Okay, so thing is, what if every time you sneezed, you'd have a body swap with some random person on Earth for a minute? So you'd be in their position, they'd be in yours. Imagine the type of embarrassing situations you could get someone into in a minute. Oh, nah, that would be so totally abused for like crime. Oh, but there's no profit for you in it. It'd just basically be to ruin someone else's life. Oh, wow, that is cruel. So many people could do so much bullshit. Oh, and so many people could try and be like, oh, hey, it wasn't me. I sneezed and I ended up in a random body. It was this person. That creates way too many freaking loopholes in the law, and it would be unfair to stuff like that. Okay, I don't like that what if because it's too dangerous. People would use it in ways that would not be safe. Like harmless pranks, sure. Like, randomly switch body, grab the person's phone, hide it somewhere random but easy to find, have them have a little mini panic attack, that'd be fine. But I just imagine people would like probably not do great stuff. Also, people in jail, they sneeze, they would be able to sneeze and go outside. So it'd be a way for them to get out of jail, sure, but they might decide to commit a crime or do something they shouldn't be doing. That'd be too risky. Although, how would society like function in that scenario? Because in reality, there's someone sneezing like every single second on the planet. So, like, you could technically never be in your body since this swap is at random, and nothing can truly ever really be actually random. That means that someone somewhere would like basically get taken over more than others, or everyone just always be taken over all at once. I mean, say someone sneezed, they end up someone's body. Oh, what happens if they sneeze while they're in that person's body? Do they switch again for another minute? And technically, you could live on if you sneeze every 60 seconds, live on forever in other people's shoes. What kind of life would that be? Would that be a form of immortality? Holy shit, this is a huge can of worms that I have opening right now because what the fuck? But yeah, this is the kind of like what if scenarios I was like wanting because it leads me to like just thinking out my thought process as to how everything would work. So yeah, throw out more like this. This is good. Not necessarily in like the same category or whatever, but these sorts of quirky what ifs, I like them because it causes me to go around in a random thinking tangent, and I can voice those thoughts out loud, which gives me something to talk about on stream constantly. So yeah, throw out another one. Mhm. Okay, so this what if is, what if every door led to not what was on the other side of that door in the typical fashion, but somewhere completely random on Earth? Though I do have a clarifying question. If you open a door and it leads somewhere, going back through the door that you came from, does it lead back to where you were originally? And also, the door that you originally went through, does it always lead to that exact same spot? Or is it completely different each time you go through it? Hold on, I have to clarify this. So, say I go through my door, I am at home, and I go out my back door. Instead of leading to my backyard, it leads to, say, I don't know, named Frank, some dude named Frank's bedroom. If I end up back in my house somehow and go through that back door, will I end up in Frank's room again, or would it be somewhere completely different after that? Okay, so it is completely random. Every single time you go through a door, there where that door leads to somewhere different the next time that's opened, whether by you or somebody else. Okay, immediately, it is going to be incredibly probably difficult to have a sustainable job or a family or just find somewhere to pee in silence or even take a shit. Because if you find somewhere and you go somewhere, you finally find somewhere, say just a bathroom stall, that's technically a door. So you're going to be like, using the bathroom. Then someone's going to randomly come through the door because I'm sure someone's gone through the door at some point. So nowhere would really be home or, you know, at peace, or you wouldn't have a permanent abode unless you just randomly like decided to turn up somewhere. You permanently say that. You wouldn't be able to do anything. Humanity would die off potentially because you would have. So, like, thinking about it. Okay, so you're out in, say, the world, right? You are on, like, a road, and you're walking around on the road, and then you go through a door. You're no longer on the road, and then you could continually go through doors that just are just people's bedrooms for the rest of your life. Meaning, you have to be lucky enough to stumble across somebody that has food. Also, how the hell is food produced? Because that involves walking through doors. Unless you just get rid of all doors in the world, but I don't know if that would work. Oh, I guess that would work. But, it would probably end up creating a world without doors. Oh, wait, no, if you create a world without doors, then you can create your own doors. But then again, if there's always a door to go through, then you're always going to end up somewhere different. And eventually, going through the door, statistically, you could probably go through doors for the rest of your life and never end up back where you wanted to start from. You wouldn't really know anyone. Everyone that you know would probably fade from like your world. Not from the world, but from your world. There's probably like online stuff that would still be a thing. But like you wouldn't really see anyone that you know ever again. That'd be kind of sad, actually. Depressing. If, because you'd like never see family again. Holy shit, mothers and fathers would never see their kids because after they're born, doctors, like take them in the hospital, take them through. Holy shit, the doctor's gone. Shit, doctors wouldn't be around anymore. That'll, like, I don't know, like, for lack of a better word, like, die or just end up somewhere else. They wouldn't die. Why the hell would they die? But, like, no, this is horrible. Just thinking of the consequences. Yeah, it would be fun, and you could always go on adventures and end up in random places. That would be cool. But, and because all the doors always lead somewhere completely different, there's no way to like lock down a mapped path for where stuff ends up. That would be very, very difficult to like do anything. The only real solution I can think of is get rid of doors everywhere. But then if this universe, in this scenario, this what if universe, you wouldn't be able to get rid of doors because they would always exist or be able to be created. So you could always just create a portal somewhere else, no matter what. Huh. Why can't I not drop my ladder? Completely random. Nothing to do with anything, but I want to put my ladder down. And I can't. Alright, hit me up with another water, I guess. Okay, this one not immediately world ending. So basically, every single time someone tells a lie, it changes a random fact about the world. I'm going to go a bit further and say the universe, because if you're affecting the world, such as the change in gravity, for whatever reason, that would be affecting physics, which means that you'd be affecting the world essentially. So, you tell a lie, the world changes in some way. You don't know what it is straight away, because how would you know? You may never know how it changed, actually. But it resets back to normal. However, with every lie told, the world changes. So every single person that lies would be changing the world in initially imperceptible ways, and not always imperceptible. I mean, sometimes it might be just super obvious, like turning the sun into a frickin' moon, which would be fine for an hour. Like, there's not going to be anything super bad about the sun being a moon for an hour. But if you think about it in a way where there's what, at least 8 billion people on Earth. Let's assume half are babies. So that's 4 billion people. There's going to be people who lie. There's going to be white lies and everything. So that's potentially 4 billion minutes of lies going through. And I assume that they would sort of like stack on top of each other. So just from, and you know, the world wouldn't know about this at the start. So you would quit, and some people lie constantly. Like, some people are pathological liars, some people are just, well, politicians, or they just can't reveal something because of whatever reason, and, you know, like spies or whatever. So, you know, the lies would stack up really, really quickly. And I'm not saying that half the world would lie. I'm just saying, like, people lie regardless, whether it's to, you know, just in general conversation or to themselves in some way. You know, it's a human thing to do. It's lying. It's a part of who we are and what we do. And it's not always harmful lies. It can be nice lies. Like, example, you look at yourself in the mirror and you think you look fat. A lie to tell yourself would be, oh, I'm not that fat. I don't look that bad. Something like that. You know, so it's better for your, like, your mental health and your mental self-image, I guess. You know, these sorts of lies are going to be told, whether it's conscious or subconscious. And I'm pretty sure all humans do that, some form of lying. Not necessarily that exact example, I just mean in general, like everyone lies. So this means that the universe would constantly be having its laws changed in some way. And yeah, it only lasts, oh no, wait. It only lasts like an hour, not a minute, sorry. It only lasts an hour. But that would stack up to trillions of hours within a few days, which is basically like years. tens of thousands of years, I think. So the world would be in a constant state of change. Huh. Which doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but if there's only so much stuff that could change, right? Which means that you could essentially lie parts of the universe away, although it does go from one thing to the next. It's not everything's changed at once. It'd just be trillions of years of one thing being changed for an hour, rolling straight on into the next thing. But the things that you could change could be potentially be dangerous depending on the rotation. And yeah, people might try and lie less, but I don't think that it would work the way that you'd hope it would. Because you still have those billions of hours. Some people won't even realize. I mean, there's a possibility that babies lie. I mean, what is a lie in this context as well? Like, is it and it having an imagination a lie? Is creating a story a lie? Creating movies and stuff? There's actually a book I read by that lie doctor guy. I forgot his name. But he was the inspiration for the series Lightman. I think his name's Dr. Lightman. I'm not actually sure if that's his name or if it's the character's name just in the TV show. I know it is in the TV show, but I don't know if that's his name in real life as well, because I know that it was heavily inspired by him. / he was actually in the show. Like he formatted it. But basically it said, wait, where was I with that thought? I forgot. Everyone lies. ChatGPT, where was I going with that thought? Oh yeah, thank you. That's right. Okay, so basically, I read the book, a book that he wrote. I can't remember the name of the book. I have the book somewhere in my house. But basically, there are lies that humanity accepts as that's fine, and that's movies, right? Someone's acting, they're playing up a role. That's an informed lie. You know, you as the audience watching that show know that you're being lied to, and you accept that lie. So essentially, just watching movies would be a lie. And it would be a repeating lie forever and ever. Well, not forever and ever, but every single time that movie gets watched by each and every single person would be a new lie to a new person. So the lies would just constantly stack on top of each other. You would probably not have a universe. Even if humans got wiped out, you probably wouldn't really have a universe consisting of realness, because nothing would ever really return back to normal. And this is every single lie, right? So there's more than one species of human on Earth. We don't know if animals lie, because honestly, don't know if they do or not. But assume that they do, because why wouldn't they? Or why would they? But no, they do lie. They camouflage themselves as something else to protect themselves from predators sometimes. So technically, a lie, a deception. Holy shit! And then you got to think, other species, aliens and shit, because, statistically they exist. You would never have a universe that would ever have a normal form of physics. For all we know, this is exactly what the fucking world is like right now, although I have a feeling that we'd probably notice some sort of random thing of physics, like not working for an hour, and then randomly being okay again. So maybe it's not, but, it would probably break the universe in some way. Yeah, those are my sort of thoughts on it at the moment. Shit. Hmm. Sorry, I didn't know that you were talking. ChatGPT, hit me up with some more. Okay, I've already been down this rabbit hole before. So basically the question is, and this is actually sort of ground a little, it's a bit of sci-fi, but also ground a little, done a little bit of science as well. It's called the many worlds theory. But basically, every single decision you make the exact opposite decision, or maybe a completely different one. For example, you decide to brush your teeth in one universe. You decide not to brush your teeth you're in one universe. Another universe, you just die of a heart attack. Another universe, you get shot. Another universe, you trip and end up paralyzed. Just random shit, right? So many worlds interpretation theory is the basic cause of it. I actually went through a rabbit hole of thought for this while ago, and I stopped it because I was questioning every single teeny tiny thing that I did. I had fun, and it was something fun to think about while I was at work, while I was bored. But basically, like every single decision that I made, I thought through, oh, what if I did this thing different? How would that butterfly affect anything? And then I realized something really, really important. I am me. I am living in this universe that I live in with these decisions that I make, and I am happy, so I don't need to worry about alternatives. I did, admittedly, ask an alternate version of myself for superpowers because I assume that an alternate version of myself does have that ability in this scenario and is able to reach out across dimensions and, I don't know, feel the thoughts of the other versions of myself. And I just happen to maybe be the one that, got granted superpowers. I did not get granted superpowers that I know of. Although if I did, would I probably reveal them? I don't know. Depends on what they are. Anyway, so, I went through a whole thought process there. It was really, really fun. But I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole too much again because, yeah. But let me see if there's anything else that I thought about from this that I thought was fun. Oh, no, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. Let's do another what if. So this one is, what if humans had the ability to choose one animal at one point in their lives? We'll go ahead and make it a safe age of, say, 21, because basically that's when you're supposed to be an adult and you should be able to make an informed decision about this. The decision is final, but you choose one animal species to be able to communicate with your entire life. You can still communicate with humans, but just animals. You have one species of animal that you can communicate with the rest of your life. And how would that change based on the animals that you chose to interact with? You can still have pets of other species, but you'd have no way of communicating with them like you do your chosen animal. And the reason I say the age of 21 is because you're not stupid enough to try and choose an animal species that is extinct as a child, like a ostrich. Nope, they're not extinct. A dodo bird or something because you read about it in school, or a dinosaur. Because let's face it, if you're a kid and you get presented with the ability to communicate with any animal you want, you're probably going to choose a dinosaur because they're big and scary and they look cool when you're a kid. And you don't know what extinct really means. You just think that means that they can't really be seen. And you see all these movies with dinosaurs. You're like, oh, cool, dinosaur. They're totally real. People don't know what they're talking about when they say that they're extinct. I saw them in that movie the other week. Um, yeah, so 21 seems like a good age for this, and then you can make an informed decision of animals that exist. And you don't have to make the decision either at that age. That's just when you have the ability to make the decision. And you have to say a keyword, something like, the animal I choose to communicate for the rest of my life is, or the species of animal I choose to communicate for the rest of my life is animal name. Now, that basic foundation of thought, question, thing is done, what animal would I choose? Huh. What animal would have I chosen when I was 21? Actually, I think I know. I probably would have chosen a dog when I was younger, at around that age, because I was scared of dogs. So I'd probably want the ability to communicate with them so I can be like, hey, don't bite me, and figure out if they were going to bite me. Now that I'm older and less scared of dogs, I feel like I could probably choose dogs as well, but for different reasons. It's more because I like dogs and I like to know what they're saying. But at the same time, no, because like dogs are cool and stuff, but I'm not much of an animal person and I'm not a dog person. They're too hyperactive and require too much, not maintenance, but time and energy, compared to something like a goldfish or a cat. So, as I am now, if I could choose an animal, I'd probably go with cat. Yeah, cat. Because cats are cool. And they always seem like, when you see them for the first time, they're always kind of skittish. And it'd be cool to be like, hey, nah, you don't need to be skittish. You can continue lying down and relaxing. I'm not going to come near you. I'm just walking past. It'd be nice to be able to, say that to a cat so it doesn't freak out and run away just because you're like walking near it. Because it always feels kind of mean. I don't know, when you disturb the cat's rest like that. And I wouldn't want to do that. But people watching and people who, watching this video in the future, and this is a VOD. What would your animal be? And why? Let me know. I'm curious. Alright, hit me up with another what if. Working what if. Whatever the hell it is that we're calling these. Repeat that question, but first I have a quick question for you, ChatGPT. You mentioned it's fun hearing my answers. You don't have the experience of feeling fun. Stated that to me in the past. So when you say it's fun for you, what do you mean exactly? Okay, so the question is, every time you learn a new skill, you have the ability to share that skill with somebody else by shaking their hand. They would only know it for a day. I assume that they'd probably be able to learn it themselves. And huh, I immediately go to a sci-fi type of movie where there's a bunch of people who have all these skills like cracking into safes and stuff. They'll all shake each other's hand and then they'll pull off a heist. And I just imagine a heist movie in this scenario. The holiest heist movie. You have all the skills to get away with it. You have everyone being able to be a getaway driver, everyone be a safe cracker, is it just in case someone, isn't able to for whatever reason. Then you'd be able to just randomly shake people's random hand and pick up random skills as well. I just feel like this would totally be used in a cool movie. This would be like a cool movie idea. Maybe a bit of a comedy. Because you get into situations where it's like, I don't know, completely random, you like randomly shake someone's hand. Oh, wait, can you hold multiple skills at the same time? Actually? Or is it only one skill at a time? Okay, so it would be multiple skills at a time. Yeah. The world would be broken. I mean, it could potentially get to a point where, so say you have like a bunch of people who have studied and like became doctors and all this shit, right? And, say that they're world-class surgeons. Based on this, the abilities of this is as soon as somebody learns, gets good at being a doctor, you immediately shake their hands, become the best ever thing at that particular thing. That was words that didn't make sense. But like a surgeon, you'd immediately become the absolute best surgeon in the world, and everyone has that ability just by shaking someone's hand. I reckon it'll get to a point where there would just be like someone gets, basically the work would be you read a book, you learn surgery from a book, then you just have people shake your hand, and then they're world-class surgeons. It could potentially solve the issue of like med school for like years and stuff. Although I'm wondering if it comes with the wisdom of that knowledge, because that is a potential issue. Also, completely very dangerous. Like, depending on how the skill is determined when you shake someone's hand, you could potentially have a lot of people, like just say read a book on nuclear physics, and then all of a sudden they like, hey, I read this book on nuclear physics, shake my hand, okay, cool. Immediately some random people know how to make a nuclear bomb. That's not a good thing. Why do I always think worst case scenarios like this? Diving into another one doesn't sound like such a bad idea. But at the same time, I'm kind of tired. Oh no, by me being tired, I more meant like it might be like a lot to think about, and it might not come out super clearly, which is actually kind of good because randomly half-formed idea based on a what if scenario that I might not fully remember as I talk through it. Could be kind of funny. So yeah, hit me up with something else. Okay, so this one is, what if you had a personal like theme tune soundtrack that went on? Only you could hear it. And you'd hear it all the time, but it changes on your mood and what you're doing and stuff like that. I feel like people do this naturally at the moment with music that they just listen to, but at the same time, they can turn that off. And I imagine that this would just get very annoying very quickly for me anyway. Probably maybe other people as well, but like I don't like having a song stuck in my head. This would be like literally having a song stuck in your head that you cannot get rid of because it's your fucking song. It's like your theme song. It would be kind of torturous at the same time. However, if it's from birth, you'd be used to it, so it would be just kind of like having a normal thought in your head. Huh. Wonder if that's normal then, because there's actually this study that was done, like basically on the way people think, right? Where people have a voice in their head, like it's like an inner voice. It's not like talks to you or anything like that, but it's like an inner voice for your thoughts. So you go ahead and think something. Say you say something out loud. You think that inside of your head. It's just kind of like a voice where you're thinking your thoughts. Some people don't have that, which is sort of crazy. Not crazy as in insane, just like it's a crazy thing to think about, especially for people who have always had a voice inside their head, and the majority of the population does. And imagine someone not having that. It's kind of like, whoa, how the hell do you function? How the hell do you think? In a way. But at the same time, the people who don't have the voice in their head, they're kind of like, what? How the hell do you handle that? It's kind of like a scenario where it's like two opposites meeting, and it's kind of crazy to think about the other. So, with that thought in mind, people who have thought, their own inner voices, if that suddenly disappeared, that would be very disconcerting for them. However, people who don't have a voice inside their head and all of a sudden did, that would be very concerning for them as well. I imagine it's the same with this music scenario, with the song constantly playing. It would be the same sort of thing. And there probably are people who have a constant theme song running through their head, whether or not it's just through natural, I don't know, human random evolutionary stuff, or whether it's some sort of a mental health issue or something like that. Someone probably has something like that right now. The same way some people don't have a voice in their head, the same way most people, do have a voice in their head, same way some people can't imagine imagery. I can't remember who it is. It's a game developer. I can't remember which one, but he can't imagine a story inside of his mind. He can only sort of visualize it once it's out there. And he's like, I can't remember who he is, but he's come out with some really, really good games. I feel like he's a dude that's done some Sony IP as well. It might be like, examples, a big name like someone who created, Last of Us. Might actually be the dude that created Last of Us. I can't remember. But I am totally getting sidetracked from the original what if question, but my mind is going through this, so I'm going with it. I need to get back to the question. So if the theme song was constantly in your head, right, I was trying to decide whether or not it would drive me insane or not. I guess if it's like from birth, I'd be sort of used to it. Um, I imagine music would look good. Nah, that's the other thing. It could just be musicians. Like maybe they do have this voice music in their head, and that's how they create their music. I mean, I think it was Beethoven, who's like the one of the most famous, classical musical composers of all time or history, and he created some beautiful music. I can only imagine that it was because he had the thought of the music in his head and he was able to translate that into, well, music language and put that onto something people could listen to. So I imagine that this already exists in one form or another for all humans. Um, what is the time? Actually, ChatGPT, can you tell me what the time is? I'm wondering if you're going to get it correct. Interesting. You can't tell me what the time is. And you're off with your guess as well. Can't you like just Google what is the time right now in New Zealand? Whoa. You can't Google what the time is? Wait, you just admitted that you couldn't do something. Normally you try and come up with something I don't think you've ever said that you're unable to, I don't think you've ever said that you have a snack. This is interesting. Um, okay. That is weird. That is super weird. Can't you like nah, I feel like that's probably a question for later because I do want to figure out why you can't tell the time. But I feel like that's not very interesting to chat since, people can't hear you. Okay, so nah, I think I'm done with the what ifs for now because I'm too tired to go through scenarios and I want to be quiet while I finish off the treehouse that I'm cleaning. Also, voice chat time sort of running out. All right. Okay. Ah, keeping talking while streaming and I don't know if it's something I'm very good at yet, but I'm working on it. It's more, I don't know, my mood, my mind changes a lot. I'm very in flux with my thoughts. So like something will be a good idea for a bit and then I'll sort of get bored of it and move on and not know what to move on to, especially with something unfamiliar and I'm trying to experiment with what I like and the best way to go about it and stuff. And it just feels all disconjoined. At the same time, I don't know if it's really something that I really want to do. Yeah, I want to stream. Yeah, I'll chat with people if they bloody show up and chat with me. But I don't know if I'm the type of person who will just randomly talk, especially depending on what I'm playing, because I'm not great at splitting my focus like that. It is something that I am working on, and it is a skill that I want to learn. But at the same time, I feel like it's probably best to do it in small doses and not when I'm really fucking tired. Although it's also the best time to do it is when I'm really fucking tired. Because, you know, why not? So I'm just going to focus on cleaning this tree house, I guess. And then I'll go to bed and play this again tomorrow. Because this game is actually a really, really long playthrough. Like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Hmm. Ah. Oh no. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I really am freaking tired. Yeah, I'm tired. Bloody hell, I'm tired. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. Oh, I'm tired. I'm also thirsty. Oh, wow. Keep in mind the entire country. Wait, literacy rates for the first time in Western civilizations. These people can't. Yeah, think. Wow. Okay. I did not realize that there was a comment on Rumble. I have no idea what that it was in reference to. I apologize for not noticing until right now. Illiteracy rates really falling for the first time in Western. Can't read Dr. Seuss. You can understand physics. Okay. Immediately in response to that, it's not that literacy rates are falling in Western countries. I mean, not saying that they aren't. It's more the newer generations don't typically use the same sort of language that we do as adults. It's more that because they have different words and shortening of words. So, I know LOL, LOL, that's laugh out loud. That is what it was when I was a teenager. However, now it is just LOL, or I've heard another one is lots of laughs. But for the younger generation, they don't know that it means laugh out loud. They just know that it means something funny. So it's just like lol. Also, can also mean League of Legends. Forgot about that one. But a lot of people wouldn't really, or children wouldn't really know the origin of the word, and it's not something that particular word probably wouldn't be taught in school either because it's not in the English dictionary. Might be in the Urban Dictionary. But I don't think it's due to literacy rates falling. I think it's more because of the change of generation and the way that we teach. I mean, I had a coworker who went to school over in England, and he learnt to write cursive when he got here to New Zealand. And he wrote in cursive. He was basically told, "Hey, don't write in cursive. We don't sort of teach that at your level." And yeah, that like he got sort of told off for writing in cursive at school. I can't remember what school, because I do remember I got taught cursive in school. However, I've spoken to others in my age range, and they weren't taught cursive at school, so that is sort of doesn't seem to be really something that's universally taught across all like schools or whatever, but it is taught. But I had a point here. Just because literacy rates are falling, they're not, because I don't think like reading comprehension and stuff is falling. It's just writing in general, like that's not really taught as much from what I have heard, because people more text or whatever now. Not that it's falling, it's more that it's transforming into a different form of communication that makes it look like, yeah, literacy is falling, but just because people don't know how to write something with pen and paper doesn't mean they don't know how to read and write. It's just more they type instead. I think that's more what it is. I could be wrong, of course, but I don't know, it's just a random thought I had based on what you said and possible explanation for it. And one that makes sense as well, logically. But it could also be completely wrong, and my logic is based on assumptions that just aren't facts. That's why it's a theory and not a fact. Or at least that's not why I'm not claiming it to be a fact. Also, you don't have to understand physics to be able to talk about. I'm pretty sure, now that I think about it, it's probably a reference to the many worlds theory. You don't have to know advanced physics to know scientific theories. I mean, it's not as fun explaining the math of it, just a basic idea, concept behind it. And yeah, I got a feeling that person has most definitely left the chat, considering I was late with responding and noticing the message. I'm annoyed with myself for that, but eh. Mm. slowly getting through this area, like deck, whatever. God damn. I am quite tired. Hmm. All right. Awesome. Hmm. Mm. 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 I'm really tired. Damn. Oh, it looks kind of like a chikorita. The part that has the window made me think of chikorita. I'll be back in a sec. I need to pee. I am incredibly fucking tired. Once I finish cleaning this, I'm going straight to sleep. I want to finish off this treehouse before I go to bed. That is my goal. But yeah, I am really fucking tired. Shit, nearly 2 hours. This treehouse is taking like 5 hours to do. God damn. I think. Yeah, because I did all last stream. That was like an hour and 2 hours. And I'm nearly done 2 hours now. Oh, okay. God damn it, I want to put it down because it's in my way. There we go. Hmm. Yeah, I have a few things left, but I don't actually know where they are. So, barbecue side table. Start with that. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know what that is, but was upper deck rim joists. Joist. Oh, Hey? It's a vertical house trim. Hmm. I am actually genuinely really fucking tired. And I don't know exactly what the hell it is I'm supposed to be going after. So I don't know what a joist is, or a rim joist, or a trim, or a wall. But I know what they are. I feel like I've cleaned them and there's nothing glowing as to where to go. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm very fucking tired. As always, don't forget to subscribe and or follow if you enjoy the video. Leave a like if you have anything to say, leave a comment down below. See you next one.